Okay, welcome back to another episode of Kittle's Backyard Safari. Today we're going to talk about something that is going to help us make connections between everything that we learn in our life, everything that we observe in our life. We're going to learn about patterns.
Patterns in nature.
So patterns appear everywhere. They appear in math, they appear in science, in nature, in art. They appear when someone is building a robot, like an innovation. Patterns appear everywhere in life. Everything that is made up of anything consists of a pattern. And take a look at this pattern right behind me. I have a tree. So I was amazed. I stopped and looked at this tree for a second. I observed it for a second and I saw the most interesting pattern. Watch this. It has 1 at the bottom, then it branches into 2, then it branches into 4, then into 8, then into 16. The multiplication tables are right here in front of me. Adding doubles is right here in front of me. There's a pattern that I'm making between this tree, math, and nature. Patterns are incredible. Let's learn. So here I am inside an amazing example of a phenomenon that's full of patterns. We can look at so many different patterns. The size of these leaves, the color of these leaves. We can start looking at the shape and the way that they grow. So there's so many patterns that I can find right here with these plants. And today we're going to focus on observational patterns. Those are patterns that we can see, that we can touch, that we can smell, that we can hear. We're going to use all of our senses to find patterns in nature. Let's get started. So yesterday I was observing these big gigantic leaves here because they have beautiful patterns on them, but I found something even more incredible. Check out these beetles and the pattern they have on their backs. Now be careful. Yesterday I grabbed one of these beetles with my fingers and it sprayed this really stinky, gross stuff all over my fingertips, and it even turned my fingers orange. So don't ever pick one of these beetles up. Just use your eyes to observe it, but check out these amazing beetles and the patterns they have on their exoskeletons. Look how incredible these beetles are. They hide up inside my plant and they're there all day long. Isn't that an incredible pattern that I found in nature? Let's take a closer look. So here you can see this really incredible beetle, and I wanted you to take a look at how it walks and all of the amazing patterns that you can see on it.
Patterns in nature.
So again, I was here looking at some spirals, the spirals that I'm going to show you later, and I found such a cool insect with some really interesting patterns. Let's take a look. Isn't that such a beautiful insect? And he flew away. He didn't like me bothering him. So let's take a closer look. Look how amazing this insect is. Look at those patterns on its back. And it's got those flags or sails that you can see on its feet. It's just an incredible animal. I could sit here and look at it for so long. There's so many patterns. And it's got a lot of symmetry in its body. That means each side of it is a copy. The left side is the same as the right. Wow, how incredible. So here we are back at my pitaya plant again, and there's more phenomenon to be seen. So check out this next pattern in nature. Another bug similar, another insect similar to the one that I saw over there in my ear. Let's check it out. Let's look a little closer. So here's another amazing example of symmetry. And look at the pattern on this beetle. It looks like an angry person or a mask that someone would wear. It's just the most incredible pattern. And I'm also starting to make connections in the patterns and the structures of their bodies. These 3 beetles all kind of have some similar body structures and patterns that I can notice. So not only am I seeing connections between the patterns on their backs, I want to put all three of their backs next to each other in a picture and compare all three of them and see what patterns I see, what I can discover.
Patterns in nature.
But I'm starting to see patterns in the way they are all together. The beetles over there, the one that was on my fingers and made my fingers smell, and the huge colorful one, it is behaving the way this one is behaving. They're all bunched together. But this one has the same coloration patterns as that one over there. So it's really interesting to me. I'm seeing patterns in their behavior and their colors, and I'm also seeing differences in the patterns that they have. So it's really helpful when I'm thinking, wanting to learn more, wanting to do some observations. It's really, really helpful for me to think about patterns. So what you're looking at right now is one of my favorite spiders. Not only for the color patterns they have, but the structural pattern. Look at those spikes. Look at the back of this spiny-backed orb weaver spider. Such an incredible animal, and I just wanted to show you this because we're talking about patterns. And right now, he's fixing his web, or she, and eating it right now. And they reuse the web inside their body to make new webs. Isn't that cool? I've seen her make tons of webs. Check out these videos. So now I want to talk to you about a pattern that you see everywhere in nature, a fractal pattern. And this is a pattern where something just repeats itself over and over and over again. Let me show you an amazing example. So here we have my pine tree in my yard, and you can see that it starts with that big trunk, and then it goes up, and it has all these branches, and those branches are copies of this tree. And as you come down the branch, you can see other copies of the tree, and you can come all the way down to the end of this branch, and you can even see where the tiny little pine trees are growing. So this is a fractal pattern that just keeps repeating itself. Now let me show you another example of a fractal pattern that I personally love, and I know we all love here in Nicaragua. Let's take a look at the sacuanjoche. So you can see these beautiful flowers are repeating themselves over and over and over again in a spiral, and you can see the other baby sacuanjoches coming out. I see fractal patterns everywhere in nature, and now I want to show you another pattern that we see in nature sometimes. Spirals.
Patterns in nature.
Okay, scientists, so can you see how paying attention to observational patterns really helps us be stronger scientists, and it helps us also observe some...
Patterns in nature.
Who said that? All right, well, here's some pictures at the end of my video for you to practice those skills, and then I want you to get outside and find some patterns.